we start at the top. Okay, so start at the top, and then next. So this is
Start right there.
stellar stuff. This is the stellar symbolism that shows up over and over again. This kind of leads into what I did a presentation on 9/11. But basically, so when you read the book of Genesis, the garden god is Cepheus, which is the northernmost constellation in the galactic plane. And then, the cherubim set at the gates. I mean, these are these two constellations of Cygnus and Lyra, which has Vegas. So you talked about Las Vegas. Las Vegas to me was pure ritual.
Yeah.
From start to finish. I don't think that Pollock Paddock guy, whatever his name is, I think he was just a patsy to be.
Me too.
To be honest with
Absolutely.
you. I don't
Me
think
too.
he had anything to do with that. But there was a lot. But so this is a lot of stellar symbolism that I've been looking at for a long time.
But let me
It has
ask
to
you
do
something,
with-
Christopher. But like going back to what I said, that these people don't get held accountable because they're actors in a theater. So whatever happened that day, everybody in Vegas even the people in Vegas have all moved on. That play is done.
Yeah. But, the thing is that it was so obvious because you had that big pyramid right across the street and that big Sphinx. I think people I think even a lot of normies kind of I don't know about this whole situation. You got this rather sickly old man who can suddenly, gun down dozens of people, how many 300, 400 yards away with these bump stocks that, have this tremendous recoil. And, this is a weak, sick old man. And somehow he can break out this 3-inch plate window and all this kind of absolute nonsense. The whole thing was just, was ritual. Because also, if you look at the Sphinx there, that's the constellation Leo. And then, Mandalay Bay is shaped like a Y, and that's a constellation of Cancer and so on. So the star symbolism, and it's kind of hard to go through in depth, but it really figures into a lot of the symbolism and a lot of the Masonic stuff, particularly with 9/11, but also with Mandalay Bay and so on. So, like I said, you have to be familiar with the constellations, but it's actually kind of simple. But it's all over the place, and all this occult symbolism, say like the goat of Mendez, which is that the goat and the inverted star and so on, and all the Masonic tracing boards are all symbolic illustrations of these constellations and so on. So what it all boils down to is the fallen angels were cast out from heaven and want to return to heaven, want to return to the garden. And this is something that sort of had been boiling under in the culture for a while. And it wasn't until the late 1700s when this Scottish Freemason went down to Ethiopia and rediscovered the book of Enoch, which they had been searching for because they see Enoch as the first, the first Freemason and so on. And he becomes the angel Metatron, so it's language and so on. So it does get pretty arcane if you're new to it. Once you familiarize yourself with the actual constellations, it's really simple because they just keep hitting the same ones over and over again. And if you go down to slide number 4, do you want to?
Yeah, it's not working.
One more. Keep going. It's slide number 4, so it's 2 down.
It's not reading it. Oh, there we go.
There it is.
No, that's we're way up. Okay. You just passed it. One more. Okay, so nope. There we go. There it is exactly. So these are the cherubim at the gate of Eden, and we see this. The ark is shaped like Cepheus. You can clearly see it's the square and the triangle there, and we see the cherubim, which are very, I told you about the angels were all trans, right? The angels are all androgynous, and we see these very androgynous angels there, and they've got the feet of calves and so on. But so anyway, so we see the correspondences with the constellations. care to guess what this coat of arms on the right is for? Anybody care to guess what that is?
Freemasonry.
You're close. Keep going.
Illuminati.
It's the United Grand Lodge of England. So that's the coat of arms for the big Grand Lodge of England, who had their very, very creepy 300th anniversary at the end of October. So the beginning of October starts with the whole Mandalay Bay thing, Las Vegas, and then ends with their big get together. Go down one slide.
Is that some the as above, so below little symbolism right there too, as well with the wings? Would you say, Chris?
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, that's just like on earth as it is in heaven. So it's just as above, so below is just basically mirroring the constellations with all these rituals. And here we see that the church steeples are all based on Cepheus. So I mean, these were all created by these from Freemasonic guilds who understood all this symbolism here. So I mean, people will say, "Oh, it's based on an obelisk," and it's like not exactly. It's based on Cepheus, and Cepheus in this whole symbolic cycle is God. The Garden of Eden, and so on. So if we go down, so let's skip to number 7 right here. So this is gonna. I hope this starts to ring bells, because this is the gate of heaven. This is the west gate where they're trying to get the fallen angels back through. They can't go into the east gate because it's blocked by the cherubim. So this is the west gate, and we see Orion, who's associated with Nimrod, but he's also associated with Hiram Abiff. We see Boaz and Jachin, which is Castor and Pollux, Gemini, and then we see the Temple of Solomon, which is Auriga here. The House of David, Capella, the kids, the goat, and so on. But the long and short of it, if we go down one more slide, yes. So this is the big symbols for the Masonic orders. We have the 2 pillars, right? Boaz and Jachin, which is Castor and Pollux, and then we have the pentagon or the pentagram, which is Auriga. So this is these 2 constellations guard the stairway to heaven, the gateway to heaven. That Nimrod tried to build the Tower of Babel. It's all the same symbolism. It's all the same area of space. But what does that look like to you? So we have these 2
the Twin Towers.
Twin Towers and the Pentagon. These are the things you have to get through to storm the gates of heaven.
Whoa, bro!
Wait up.
By the way, if you see Capella right now, if you look at it through a telescope, it's this crazy flashing, like green and red colors, because it's low on the horizon. Wow. Capella right now, it's beautiful.
So this is how you get to heaven. This is how you get more accurately get the fallen angels back into heaven.
What's the source of this illustration, Chris?
Which illustration?
The one on the left here.
The one with
that's the Masonic. It's called the Masonic blanket. It's similar to a tracing board, but all this is all stellar symbolism. This all connects to the various constellations. But again, the eye is the Watchers. So this is about returning the Watchers. That the true lords of heaven. The coming ones, the sacrificial ones, all this terminology. This is about returning them to the garden, and that's exactly what we see here.
So this is a portal. This is a portal, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Stargate, right? It's the Stargate, and this is how you return to heaven. So if we go down one slide here, I don't know. Did we talk about this before? I forget. I've talked about this stuff. But anyway, so we see the kids, which is this asterism within Auriga, directly corresponding to the damage being done to the Pentagon on 9/11.
Oh, man. What? That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, so what it is that you bring down the gates, you storm the gates, and then Capella is the chariot. It's the chariots of fire, all this different terminology. This is a chariot that you take back up into heaven. All right.
Wow. Let me get this acorn.
So we know about the Twin Towers and so on. I mean, that symbolism is pretty, is pretty clear. Go down one slide. So what did they replace the Twin Towers with? With One World Trade Tower or something. But you can see that Cepheus is very cleverly encoded into there. So we see the square base and then the pyramidion here. So basically, what this represents symbolically,
it's upright and it's inverted.
Is
There's
that
two kind of.
Yeah, what this represents symbolically is that the gates of heaven were stormed, the gates of heaven were torn down, and that the watchers have been returned to their rightful place in the garden being Cepheus, being God, and so on. And go down one frame.
There we go.
One frame. Next slide.
Occasionally,
who's manning the slides?
Me, but it's like
our computer's a little weird. There we go.
Oh, okay. All right.
Obviously, XG's been watching pornography on my work computer. It's not working right now. Please do not watch porn on the work computer that you somehow decide to start bringing home every day.
For some reason, I had premium for free already logged in on there. Yeah, a premium account. I couldn't stop myself.
All right, here we are.
So we see here, so that's square, that's the body of Pegasus, and we see how that corresponds to the well where the tower once was, and then we see Cepheus in the form of One World Trade Center, and then we have Cygnus, and this is going to be very important because this area that we see that I've labeled with corresponding to Cygnus is called the Oculus. So what does Oculus mean? Oculus means the eye. And this is kind of the centerpiece of this whole ritual cycle here. This Oculus symbolizes the watchers have been freed from their imprisonment. They were imprisoned beneath the earth, beneath Mount Hermon. We can talk a little bit about Travis Scott and Astroworld for that symbolism.
What?
But we see it here.
What the?
Yeah. So go down one.
And Oculus is the name of that VR thing for Facebook.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yes, exactly. So this was 3 years. This was put in 3 years before 9/11. This is at the Chamber Street subway station. This is also called Oculus. And you see these eyes. We see the flat Earth map here, and we see the eye at the North Pole here. This is an art exhibit, and if we go down one more frame, we see all the eyes. So these are the watchers.
That creeped me out.
Shut
up. These are the watchers, and we'll bring it full circle with this Oculus Path Station. But there we go. Again, this was installed 3 years before 9/11.
Is there something to all the people that are walking over that on the floor? Is there something to the ritual there about all the people just sort of, it's there, but people really aren't noticing it? Is there a frequency there that's being penetrated?
Something called sigil magic, where it's like symbolism.
Exactly.
They tell you without telling you, and then it's also a little bit of bragging too.
It's also entrainment. People see this every day, and they process this stuff up unconsciously. Huh. So go down one more frame.
Amazing. Oh my! What?
So this is another one of the sort of watcher rituals. This is in the immediate aftermath of 9/11, and we had all these strange people in formation around this circular object.
This is on the news, by the way. That's on the. I think that's
right.
Who are these
this
people?
is an eye.
This is the
news. This is CGI type shit.
It's like a freaking joke, isn't it? It's like just a joke, right?
Well, it's what they do.
It's deadly serious. It's deadly serious. I mean. This is their religion.
This is almost, but it seems almost like a game. It really just seems almost like a very deadly game. But a game.
Well, they play with us like,
right? Exactly.
How much can they put out before we start to realize what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
perhaps
go down
joke
one more
was
frame.
a bad choice of words.
Who are those people? Sorry.
Okay,
who are those people gathering?
So stop here.
Who are those people?
I don't know. I don't know who they were, but they look at how they're in formation.
Oh, of course.
Too.
Yeah, I
It's
mean, that's
almost
clearly
like they're
something that's
in,
drilled. It's drilled, right? They've clearly drilled that, whatever.
Yeah, it's clearly drilled. Yeah. So this is a religious observation here. This is not some spontaneous expression of patriotism or something. Go down one frame. So here's the Oculus. This is also called the Oculus. So we have the creepy eyes in Chambers Street subway station, and that's the watchers imprisoned, right? This is the watchers freed. Now look at this. This is called the Oculus. Why is this called the Oculus? You know, we see like this is wings, you know, emerging from the subway, emerging from the ground. Well, it's called Oculus because this is the watchers, and these are these sort of winged shapes are the wings of the watchers. So what this is representing here is the watchers freed from their underground prison, which was the Path Station. Which, if we go down one frame, so this is the entrance to the Oculus here. So this represents the prison. You know, the prison in the abyss, or beneath the abyss, actually, that the watchers were cast into by Michael and his angels in the Book of Enoch here. So this again, so this is all the Oculus, right? So this is the watchers in prison, but they're also being freed. And if we go down one more frame, so look at this. So we see that the watchers are directly aimed at at Cepheus, at One World Trade Center, right there, right? You see that they're directly oriented towards. So this, if you just look at this visually, it looks like winged creatures flying to this monolith here, right?
Yeah.
And that's this. So this is the watchers, and the fact that it's called Oculus, I think it's kind of self-explanatory in that regard. So go down one frame.
There we go again.
That's the Oculus. 8 sides.
Yes. So this is some of the other Watcher installations. This is back in 2010. This is Event
creepy.
Horizon. We have like just basically Watchers, these male figures standing above Madison Square in New York, just standing around looking down at the street.
Well,
so
you know
this
what?
is the Watchers.
This makes me think every superhero movie is about Watchers too, because that's all these superheroes do.
Yeah, well, now you're starting to catch on.
The Eternals, that whole Eternals.